IVC, Dale, Gatefold 33 back with another video. So at the end of my last finds video, I mentioned that I might come back and show some singles that I've found this year, or maybe last year as well. So this is it. It's probably going to be a multi-parter, and it might be something I make as a way of kind of posting some stuff while I'm on holiday. I'm going on holiday soon. So if you see this video, it might be that I'm on holiday. It might actually be I've been on holiday. It might be I'm about to go on holiday. Depends when I post it. But yeah, so yeah, probably a multi-parter. And I'm going to focus on my proper 7-inch inbox. So what I'll probably do is, there's about 70 odd records in there. I'll probably speak for 20 odd minutes, stop, then do another video, speak for another 20 odd minutes until I get through the box, and then I'll post those videos as multi-part videos. Depends how much I waffle on. I like to waffle on, particularly at the start of my videos. So this is number one. Yeah, so I think I've said before, as a bit of a kind of in-joke that only vinyl collectors would get, that I don't regard myself as a collector of 7-inch singles. I think at the time I've only got 500, which if you collect 7-inch singles is nothing. But I've started to get into it a bit more, and this year I've found quite a few. I do think the 7-inch single is a fantastic format, you know, particularly for, you know, obviously at the time, at its height, 60s, 70s, 80s, you know, it was a way of the young pop collector, depending on what was pop at that point in time, to spend their hard-earned, you know, Saturday money or even their pocket money on a song that they loved, and you get it in this perfect. Get it in this perfect 7-inch format, and you get the song that you've heard on the radio or seen on Top of the Pops or whatever it is, and a B-side which may be of varied quality depending on the artist or the song. So yeah, so I think it's a perfect format, but you know, for the music lover like me, it's also a bit of a faff. I have to make an effort to listen to singles. You know, I have to get them in the right place. Obviously, I pick the singles, and yeah, it's more of a faff than putting an album on. Hence, I've kind of shied away a bit of getting deep into the well of singles. But as I said, I've picked up a lot this year for different reasons, and I'm enjoying them. So, 3 minutes in, let's start. So let's start with the first single I just picked out. So this is my proper inbox. I've got several inboxes with all the hundreds of records I've got to listen to, but these are the ones that are on rotation until they go into the collection proper. And I'm probably approaching 1,000 7-inch singles now in my entire collection, which sounds a lot, but as I said, you know, if you're a collector of 7-inch singles, it probably isn't. Again, I'll probably reach a point now where I need to go and purge the singles collection because they're reaching a limit. I've got them on top of my Kallax shelves. So alphabetical order these are in, so I'll go through them, work through them. When I get to 20 odd minutes, or when I reach a point for a break, I'll stop. So most of these are car boot sale, or I've got them when I've bought or gone through other collections. That's pretty much where they've come from. And yeah, so these first two are part of, so at a car boot sale I tend to go to 2 car boot sales, and one of them, there was a couple, a husband and wife, probably about my age, maybe a little bit older, and they're record collectors, which is nice, both of them. They share that as husband and wife, and they were offloading stuff from their collection to scale it down, and had loads and loads of singles, a few albums, not many, a few 12-inch singles, but loads and loads of 7-inch singles. And I think they spend a lot of time going backwards and forwards to Japan in the past, and so there were quite a few Japanese singles. So you don't come across Japanese 7-inch singles in the middle of a field in Hampshire very often. So so I got a little bit overexcited and bought quite a few of them, probably for the novelty value. They're not particularly worth anything. Some are. It was more the novelty value. So I picked out probably more than I would have done, but I've enjoyed what I've listened to so far. So these first two, so going in alphabetical order, starting numerical alphably, not even English. 10cc. I'll try and keep the glare down. So 10cc, a couple of, and these, typically the Japanese 7-inch singles, they come with an inner sleeve. This one is a little bit stained. And then a picture insert that has the lyrics or some information, and then the picture for the single. And these are both white label promos. So yeah, the first one is The Things We Do for Love, backed with Hot to Trot. And then the second one is I'm Mandy Fly Me, backed with How Dare You. So yeah, so I've got, quite like these these are the ones I've got some kind of Japanese writing that must mean something on it, whether it's discounting or because they're promos, they might have promo writing on them. Nice to have, nice to pick up in a field in Hampshire. Most of these records, I would say, are in the 50p to £1 range. Those were 50p, I think, or maybe less than 50p each. For a bit cheap, nice novelty to pick up. Okay, moving into the A's, and this is completely random. Some of these are throwaway pop. Some of these are quite collectible. Just completely random, alphabetical order. So you take what you find. Next up, ABC. Tears Are Not Enough. So this was ABC's debut single, I think, and the first single from Lexicon of Love, and is overshadowed by Poison Arrow and Look of Love, isn't it? Which I do also have. So to pick this up to complete, if you like, the three ABC singles that I like on nice picture sleeves. So that is Tears Are Not Enough with Alphabet Soup on a plastic injection label. Right, I need to put these in a way that I don't have to resort them when I put them back in the box. Okay, next up, so this weekend just gone, went to a second car boot sale. So I went to my first car boot sale, didn't get a lot. Went to my second car boot sale, wasn't having much luck, although it was a nice sunny day, lots of cars. There was a guy who had a few albums. I was kind of dashing around doing a first pass of the car boot sale. I was late getting to the second one, so I guess I'd already kind of resigned myself to the fact that I wasn't going to find the gems because I was late, and others would have found the gems. But sometimes, because they're still setting up, things do pop out. So I was doing a zigzag down the different rows, and I saw a guy had a load of 7-inch singles and a few albums. I went through the albums, picked a couple out, and said, I'll come back and have a look at your singles whilst I was doing my first pass. So I did my first pass, wasn't particularly fruitful, and then went back and went through several hundred singles. They're £1 each, he said, but it'd do me a deal if I bought a stack. So I went through several hundred and ended up buying 30 odd for £20. So what's that, 60 odd pence each. There were a few reggae singles in there. I'm not a reggae buff. I don't really know my reggae, but and they were of very variable condition, but I decided I was just going to grab them, unless they were obvious ones that I knew that were kind of common and ones already had. I thought I'll grab all of the reggae labels. It's only about a dozen, I think, tops. And this was one of them, which turns out to be very collectible. So this is Green Door label, and Bob Andy, You Don't Know, backed with a cover of Elton John's Border Song. So this is from 1973, as I said, on the Green Door label. It's a VG copy, as John's 6-inch pianist would say, reggae mint. It's a bit crackly, but not too bad. Side A is pretty good. Border Song's a little bit more crackly. But yeah, this is quite collectible. I was quite shocked when I got home and catalogued it into Discogs. Nice record. The version of Border Song is quite nice as a cover song of Border Song. Sort of fairly true to the original with a light reggae feel. Okay, next up is, this was in a collection of stuff that I bought, a lot of which went straight into the tip. There were a few gems. Those blues records I showed in my last video came out of this, but there was a lot of stuff that was, just not worth keeping. However, I bought it as a kind of lot, and there was a load of singles, and I didn't even look at the singles. The singles were kind of thrown in. And then when I went through them, there were some interesting singles, several of which appear in this box. So that was a real bonus, because I kind of worked out the deal on the albums, and then there's 100 singles thrown in, so a lot of which also went in the bin. But there were some nice ones, and this is one of the nice ones, and which is Dale Shows the Beatles. Oh my God, I don't show the Beatles very often at all, but to find this, so this is an original, I'm not sure if it's a first press, but certainly a very early press of Love Me Do on the red Parlophone label from 1962, was it? 1962. So yeah, again, quite a collectible single. The vinyl's really nice, really clean. So nice to kind of add that to the collection for nothing, effectively. I think this was also part of that batch. This is Cliff Bennett and his band, Good Times, back with Lovely Weekend. So Good Times is a bit of a beat stomper, pretty nice, 1968, so a bit late in the day, but yeah, kind of R&B stomper, Cliff Bennett and his band. I think Cliff Bennett and various kind of guises, different bands, and Lonely Weekends, not Lovely Weekend. Lonely Weekends is a bit of a ballad, I think, from memory. Some of these I haven't played at all. Not many. Most of these I've played, but I've probably only played them once. So my memory is a bit vague on some of these. Apologies, but yeah, I'm working my way through them. I'll keep recycling them until I run out of space in the box, which I nearly have, or I get to know them enough and they're in the collection, or they're not in the collection. But there, yeah, this is a good R&B stomper, Good Times, Cliff Bennett and his band. Okay, this next one, which we won't be able to see, is a jukebox single, black text on a kind of plastic pressed sleeve, but it's nothing spectacular. Blur Song 2, but I like that song by Blur. I'm not a massive collector of Blur at all. In fact, I haven't got hardly anything on vinyl by Blur. This might be it. But yeah, I like Song 2. A couple of minutes of good explosive Britpop. So yeah, nice to pick that up. I think 50 pence. This next one was off of that couple. They've been there a few times. They bring new stuff, and I said all the singles have been 50 pence or less, and this was a nice copy of David Bowie Sound and Vision, a Dutch picture sleeve of that. So nice to pick up, really clean Dutch press of Sound and Vision. Okay, next up from that freebie load of singles that came with the collection, Atlantic press of Clarence Carter, Funky Fever, backed with Slip Away. So I was familiar with Slip Away, that appears on a lot of soul compilations, but Funky Fever, so this I think was a reissue, a UK reissue of a couple of his A-sides put together. I might be wrong with that. So because I think Slip Away might have been a US A-side and Funky Fever might have been a US A-side, and they got released on Atlantic in the UK as a double A-side almost. Yeah, Funky Fever is quite funky, as you'd expect, and Slip Away is a ballad that I'm probably all familiar with. Okay, this next one is nothing remarkable, but is one of my all-time favourite singles. So to find a nice, cleanish copy of it, so not valuable at all. It's Ray Charles and Hit the Road Jack. I think that's a fantastic song. It appears on a lot of my sort of playlists for the car on my phone. It's back with The Danger Zone, which I can't remember what that is. Okay, this next one is probably the first, maybe that ABC was also, this box I got at the boot sale this year. Literally, there was the guy just put it on put it on his table as I was walking past. I went over and opened it up, and it was full of 80s picture sleeves, and all quite interesting, nothing earth-shattering, but stuff that I would like to have, if and I got it for £12, I think, for the box, so 20-30 pence a single. So some of them were a bit naff, but they were all kind of 81 to 86, 85, mostly 81, 82, almost entirely. There was only a few that weren't. So yeah, nice to get. And these, so you'll see some of these appear, but this next one is definitely from that box. I think it's 85. The Colour Field and Thinking of You, which is again another good song. I'm not sure, this one might have been in there, might not have, I don't think it was. This was a random find, I think, and might have been in that couple's singles. I just randomly bought it and really enjoyed both of these songs, the A and the B side. So this is Julian Cope, and Charlotte Ann is the A side, and Christmas Morning, Morning, M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G. Yeah, so really enjoyed both of these songs. Christmas Morning is not Christmassy at all, and yeah, nice kind of Blind by. I think I'm pretty sure it was part of that couple's boxes of singles that, again, I bought a big stack for next to nothing. Okay, this next one is another Japanese single, also from that couple. So this is part of a series that I'm not familiar at all. This is the only one I've got from that series. It's called The American Donut Collection, where I guess in Japan they released classic American tracks. As it's a single-sided, so nothing on that side, single-sided disc. This one is Creedence Clearwater Revival, Have You Ever Seen the Rain? So as I said, this is kind of the little insert with a nice company sleeve with a picture insert on Victor. But yeah, the American Donut Collection. Don't know if anyone else is familiar with that, but that's the only one I've got. Creedence Clearwater Revival's Have You Ever Seen the Rain? Okay, these next ones are probably the most expensive singles in this box, because I know I paid £2 each for them. So they are both by the same artist. So The Cure, there's The Cure, Let's Go to Bed, and The Cure, Charlotte Sometimes. So these were, unfortunately, both got Julia written on the front, as was the trend back in the sort of 70s and 80s. But they're really clean copies, nice early 1981, sort of, early 80s Cure singles. Bought from Julia herself. She was selling some of her collection. So we had a little chat about, oh, Julia, why did you write your name on the front? And we talked about it being a trend at the time when you went to parties, and she apologised, but nice to pick them up for a couple of £1 each from Julia herself. All right, 21 minutes. I'll get through the D's and then I'll come back. Blimey, this is going to be a marathon. Next up, this is another one of those reggae blind buys from this previous weekend. So yeah, as I said, anything on a reggae label or an interesting looking label I picked up, and this, I've had stuff before on the Gas label. This is Greedy Boy by Nora Jean, backed with Please Stay by Keith. Sorry, can't remember either of them. This is okay, a few marks on it, not bad condition. Certainly got them at the weekend. Okay, next up, these were from this box of 80s picture sleeves. All beautiful, clean picture sleeves with very little creasing, which is why I was keen to do a deal for the whole box, and then work my way through it. And yeah, a couple of early Depeche Mode singles. So I like early Depeche Mode singles. I'm not so keen on the early Depeche Mode albums. I think Black Celebration is where my first album I've got Depeche Mode, but I have got the singles comp vinyl, which is really good because it's a good collection of their early singles. So I do like their early singles, but I'm not so keen on the rest of the album tracks. So these are two, See You and The Meaning of Love. Nice to pick up on really clean sleeves and very clean vinyl. And then the final one for this video, this was again this weekend gone from the guy who had all the singles. This just looked interesting. This looked like it was a reissue campaign perhaps. It's Columbia Hall of Fame singles, and it's Bob Dylan. So it's got Just Like a Woman backed with I Want You. So yeah, really clean vinyl. So yeah, I thought pick this up. Don't really collect Bob Dylan singles. Bob Dylan really is an album artist for me, but there's an interesting curio. Okay, so I will pause here, and you're going to see me come back immediately with the next video. I'm going to record these all the way through now, but I will open the patio doors because it's getting a bit warm in here, so the next ones might be a little bit noisier with bird song and traffic perhaps, but okay, so yeah, 24 minutes, back in a minute. Cheers, bye.